I do not consent.
All right, we get another Dot Bats Dojo debate, this time between CJ and Tanman. State your combatants, what canonicity you're taking from, like anime or manga, and whether you're using like, data books, things like that, and if you want to use standard battle assumptions.
Okay, so the topic is Gremmy versus Daemon. CJD Go have Gremmy. Tanman 4 has Daemon. And I'm assuming we're both going to be using the manga and data books for the respective series. Are you fine with that?
Yeah.
All right. So then let's proceed.
So do you want to list off first, or?
Yeah, I'll start first. Okay, so Gremmy's Galaxy level in AP.
Okay, please prove that and skill it.
Okay. Let me get the scan.
Also, sorry if my mic around me cuts out. It just seems to be cutting out today, so yeah.
Crap, that's the wrong device. I have the scan on this one. All right, let me post this. Where is it? Brad, don't tell me I don't have this saved. I should have re-looked at this before I debated. My apologies. All right.
No
do you know anything about Bleach? Like, how much do you know about it?
I mean, I picked it up for a couple times, read up to a couple chapters, and I'm not caught up, so I'm sorry if my knowledge may be a bit limited.
I mean, it's fine. I haven't read Bleach at all because, like, if you did know about it, that I was just gonna bring up the scene in case I couldn't find it.
Okay.
All right.
I think
okay.
Victor posted him, CJ.
All right. Yeah, he posted it. Check debate and scans. If you look at debate and scans, you see Gremmy create a pocket of outer space. And then he goes on to explain what happens when you're in space. And as you see in the background, there's a bunch of stars and all that. And there's even a galaxy maybe in the bottom right. But even then, that's kind of questionable. So you see what I'm trying to say, right? Because his power is imagination, and he just creates a pocket of space that has a bunch of stars and maybe even a galaxy in the back.
Wait, where is it?
It's in debate and scans.
Okay. All right. Okay, so yeah.
Are you fine with this?
Okay, so do I give my card prediction now? Okay, so basically,
Basically what?
wait, what? Oh, sorry. So you're saying that Gremmy is basically making a void of outer space, and from there is scaling to it, or Kenpachi go to
Yes. No. So the thing is, Gremmy's abilities work by his imagination, right? And if his imagination is capable of creating a galaxy, and that should just mean in the hypothetical fight, Gremmy can just like throw a galactic level punch or like throw a galactic level bullet at him if he has the power to imagine a galaxy. That's just an example. Or he could just do what he did here by creating a void and wrapping Daemon inside of it.
Wait, sorry. So you're trying to scale Gremly to basically making a galaxy, and then Kenpachi is destroying the galaxy?
No, Gremmy's my character, so I don't care about Kenpachi. All I'm showing is that Gremmy created a pocket of outer space that contains galaxies in it. You understand?
Okay, so Gremly is making a bunch of stars and planets and etc. But so you're using that to get him to from where exactly? Galaxy?
The galaxy level, because like the thing about it is the amount of stars in this, right? It's just like if you were to look at a galaxy or like the night sky, that's like similar to the amount of stars you see there. And in the bottom right, there's like a galaxy looking thing there as well.
Yeah, only like real contradiction I have with this is that it seems like he's kind of opening a portal or like replicating the void of outer space, and from there is what he is actually trying to do.
No, he just creates it.
Yeah, but from like it looks like from here, like it's just making a portal and then sending Kenpachi through said portal into the void of outer space.
Okay, well, okay. What evidence is there to suggest he created a portal?
By the fact that from what we like see, there's multiple numerous planets, galaxies fit in this small pocket of space. So you could argue that
Yeah,
this
but
is
well, we don't. Okay, well, to be fair, like Bleach is a 2D manga, and we only see one side of this pocket void. For all we know, like I said, this could literally just be like a 3D. Like this could literally just be like a 3D ball that he's putting Kapachi into or whatever that has actual depth. So you trying to say, well, it only seems that he's creating like a portal because it's 2D. It's just it's kind of silly, you know?
yeah, but the entire thing is like it's the void of outer space. Outer space directly refers to like the level above the basically Earth's atmosphere, and from there, like it's not necessarily making a bunch of whole galaxies, universes, planets, etc. It's just rather that like making a portal to said outer space, which would
Okay,
technically
again,
exist
what evidence is there to suggest that he created a portal?
by the fact that well there we see no actual like no actual like real. I know this is gonna sound kind of rowdy, but there's no actual real depth to it and etc. Basically,
Okay,
we don't
again,
really yeah we
Bleach
don't
is a two-dimensional manga, so you expecting perfect depth to be represented in a manga like this, it's
yeah
just incredibly bad.
it's fine that there's
So
no perfect. No, sorry, you could go.
that just doesn't go through. It's a 2D manga. Of course, there's not going to be depth on screen. But if Gremmy's power is to create things with his imagination, and he just creates a void of outer space right here, then that should just be enough evidence. You don't really need to see the depth of it just to say that.
Can I go now, or are you finished?
Yeah, you can go. You can go.
So basically, the problem with this I have is like it's again a void of outer space. Basically, outer space directly refers. Actually, it's okay if I pull up the definition real quick.
Yeah, you can pull up the definition of outer space.
So
It's in debate and scan.
What do you say?
It's in evidence.
Okay. Thank you. Mob's already posted it. The physical universe beyond Earth's atmosphere. All right, so it's like he just creates a pocket of outer space that has a galaxy in it.
yeah, but the thing is, this is literally refers to it being beyond the Earth's atmosphere, meaning that it could potentially be a portal from inside where Daemon and Kabachi are to a portal of outer space.
Okay, wait. You know the Soul Society is a different dimension, right?
Yeah, even with it being a different
All
dimension
right,
doesn't mean
so
it's limited to having it like not
well,
having outer space.
hold on. So if the Soul Society is a limited dimension, if the Soul Society is outside of the living universe where like the Earth is, right? And then Kenpachi creates outer space in a dimension that's outside of where Earth is, and that still fits the definition. Because if the Soul Society isn't where Earth is, it's just beyond Earth's atmosphere. So that doesn't really change much.
Wait, so basically from where it is this Charity or is this the Soul Society? Basically, even if this was
No,
like
no, no. They're in the Soul Society, and then he creates the void of outer space inside the Soul Society. Because of its location, that should just mean that it's beyond Earth's atmosphere. So you trying to use the dictionary definition of outer space is just like doesn't work. So it's like basically it's like let's say outer space is a car, and basically what Gremmy did was create a car in the Soul Society, and the Soul Society is beyond Earth's atmosphere. That's basically what he just did.
yeah, that's not necessarily what I'm trying to say. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that from here, it's fine that the Soul Society is a separate dimension from Earth or the main dimension, but the only problem is that that is a limited to not having outer space. Basically, from the dimension that we see, it could also have an outer space, but from a okay, sorry, yeah, it could also basically have an outer space, which therefore would just be a portal from point A to point B.
What? Okay. Hold on. You're clearly missing the point. I don't. Okay. Let me rephrase my argument, and then we can go back. Let me adjust the portal thing after. Let's say outer space is a car, right? And Gremmy's imagination allows him to create things. And he is in the Soul Society, and then he creates the car in the Soul Society. Because the Soul Society is a different dimension, that should just mean that it's beyond Earth's atmosphere. And it doesn't matter if like if the definition of car means it has to be built beyond Earth's atmosphere, the location in which it's built already meets that criteria. All right, and then for the portal thing, again, what evidence is there to suggest that it's a portal? Yeah, I've asked you this question 3 times. You haven't answered all 3 of those times.
So basically, the main thing that suggests it's a portal is basically, from what we know, all 3 dimensions are separate. Wait, are they like separate space-time continuums, or are they just
all the 3 dimensions? I don't really know. All I know is that they're not connected to the living universe, and if they
Okay.
are, it's a different dimension, so it's still beyond Earth's atmosphere.
Okay, that's fine, except for the black cloud. Even if we do give the benefit of the doubt, it will only scale sim to planet to star level, since in the second or the third panel we see planets and stars in the background, and from there we only see, and in the third panel we see planets, etc., and suggesting that
In
instead
the
of
third panel, it's like at the end of like a chapter. It's like a chapter extra that Kubo drew, right? The what he's drawing here is to represent that when Gremmy is actually thinking of those things, they're being created. That's what that panel represents. It's not part of the fight. It's just showing us how Gremmy's abilities actually work. So you saying, well, it's just planets and stars doesn't mean anything when we actually see what happens, and it's a bunch of galaxies.
yeah, from there we don't really see multiple, like we only really see like certain stars, planets, etc. from there, and even then, even if we do give them the benefit of the doubt of being multiple stars, planets, etc., it would really only scale them to somewhere between star level to solar system.
No, well, let me zoom in on this for you. Crap. Tanman, if you're trying to say this is only like planets and stars, well, it's posting right now. Look at this. What are those 2 things I just circled? They look exactly like how galaxies look from afar.
Did you send it?
Yeah, I already sent it. It's in debate and scans.
Okay, see it. So from what we see is like the first one can be debatable just being a really large star. The second one is not necessarily like outright, shown to be a galaxy, since from what we know, there's only ever planets and stars in this canon.
Okay, so hold on. So okay, I'm not gonna sit here and like start counting with you how many stars are on this panel. But is it safe to say there's at least 1,000?
There's at least a handful of stars on here, but then again, it isn't necessarily related to the actual full-on stars, galaxies, etc.
Okay, so Tim, and let me ask you a question. If you're saying there's at least a handful, why are you limited it to only a handful? And we clearly circled 2 things that look like galaxies that we can see from our night sky.
From what we see,
So
okay, one sec, let me finish. But basically, from what we see, it doesn't have there's not actually any relation from it being like normal stars to actual full-on stars like that exist in our universe.
what?
Yeah, because
It's just okay. Whoa. So like social societies where people go like after they're done living on Earth, right? I'm pretty
yeah,
sure that's how. Right? So if Gremmy lived on Earth at one point, then it's highly likely that he saw the night sky. And because his powers are based on his imagination, if he's seen the night sky and he's imagining a whole bunch of galaxies, it's pretty consistent for this to actually be a galaxy or actually to be like a bunch of solar systems and stars.
okay. So
So it's
Gremlins,
like you trying to rat your way out of this won't really help you in the scenario.
so Gremlin is actually a Stern Raider, which I'm not too sure if he's ever been to the world of living, but from there,
Yeah.
like he never experienced, like I'm pretty sure he never died in the real world, real world
Well,
world
did he
kind of
at
stuff.
least live there once?
I mean, not necessarily. From what I know, he's a Stern Raider, which has been cooped up in Rachi's Paso. I'm not too sure on the history of the Stern Raiders, but from there, you can't really relate him being like, oh, he lived in the human world, he died. From there, he saw
Okay,
it.
well, even if I never said he died. I just said when they're done living on it. Living doesn't necessarily have to like relate to like being able to have your like heart pump and stuff like that.
Listen, we don't
Uh,
know if Gremlins ever actually died from here. And
I'm aware. I'm saying that him dying or not doesn't have to do with anything. What I'm saying.
No, but you said that he lived on Earth, he died, he came here, saw that, and did that. But from what we know, he never lived on Earth and never did anything towards Earth
Ugh,
at all.
bro, bro. Kubo literally just shows us that he's literally creating it. Imagination. His power is imagination, and in that third panel that Victor originally sent, he's clearly imagining planets and stars. So what's stopping him from imagining stars and galaxies?
Again, we don't. Again, first of all, wait. So the point you just said now was that he lived on Earth, he died. From there, he did that.
Hold on,
But
hold on, hold on. I asked you a question, right? Because I don't know anything about Bleach. So I'm saying if the soul societies where people go after they're done living, I'm not necessarily dying. Like Ichigo was teleported to the soul society, even though he didn't die, right? So like I'm just asking if he was at least at one point on Earth, and that gives enough credence as to why he knows what stars and galaxies are. Like
okay,
and the more credence is when he creates this, he's ranting about how space works, and this is pretty accurate as to what would happen in real life. So if he's knowledgeable enough about space, what's stopping him from knowing about galaxies and stars?
again, we don't know
Please
if he
don't.
ever lived. Okay, what? Wait, sorry, what?
Well, even if he never lived, he obviously knows what space is.
Yeah, but the thing is, we never know he lived on Earth, and from there we could just say
He
you
doesn't
like
does it matter? Does it matter if he knows? Okay, even if I can't necessarily prove he lived on Earth, he clearly knows what space is. So you trying to say, well, it's not really a galaxy, it's not really a star, is incredibly rad when he already knows about space. It's like me telling you that a computer has pixels on its screen and it's powered by a CPU or GPU or whatever it's called, and then you're trying to say, well, you don't actually know what a computer is, even though I already listed like one of the most important things about a computer. That's basically what you're trying to say right now.
first of all, that doesn't really relate from the fact that Gremly, he never actually seen stars, dimensions, etc. And your point was that he lived on Earth, died. Like he basically saw
Oh,
the
okay.
Earth.
Hold on. Again, it wasn't a point. I said I asked you a question to make this simpler. But if that isn't the case, he clearly knows about space. I don't care if he lived on Earth or not. That's not my main point.
Yeah,
Even if he
listen,
didn't live on Earth, he clearly knows about space. What you're basically saying is that well, he knows all these facts about space, so therefore he shouldn't know how, like about stars and galaxies, which is incredibly rad when he already knows some things about space. Why wouldn't he know the rest?
we know he doesn't know like too much about space. You could have just saw it on a picture, book, etc. And he doesn't know the size of space, which you technically can,
Doesn't know the
since
size of space.
like he doesn't know how big planets, stars, solar system are because he never actually saw planets and stars.
Okay,
That's
so if I imagine Kobe Bryant, right, and I don't know how tall Kobe Bryant is, and he appears in my imagination, are you just gonna say, well, Kobe Bryant isn't actually like 6'8" or whatever because I don't know how tall he is? Just
you
because
could
you don't know the exact specifics doesn't mean it can appear. Like your imagination is like based on your brain and what it knows, right? So
your
it's like
imagine yeah, your imagination also doesn't really follow the actual real world counterparts to it. For example, if you imagine Kobe Bryant, he could like in your imagination you could think he's 6'8", but in reality he'll just be like 16 feet tall. Basically, it doesn't actually.
I was giving you an example. I was giving you an example, right? Because I'm pretty sure Kobe's like 6'8". I could be wrong. It doesn't really matter. The example is even if I don't know how tall Kobe is, and I imagine, even though I have seen him play basketball and I've seen him compared to normal people, and I can imagine him in my imagination, and he'd still be like 6'8" based on what I've seen. You trying to
Yeah,
rap by saying, well, he doesn't actually know what space is terrible.
sorry, excuse me, but except Jeremy in this case, he never actually seen these stars. He never actually
Okay,
saw
so he's
Kobe Bryant.
never. So you're making that claim?
Please let me finish. But we never actually see him like seeing all these stars, etc. And from there, it doesn't actually have any relation to the real world counterpart of these stars, planets, etc. So from all we know, these stars slash planets could basically be the size of Kenpachi's fingernail.
Okay, so you said he's never seen it. Can you go ahead and prove that if you're gonna make such a claim?
Again, wait, weren't you the one that you said like he lived on Earth?
I asked you a question. I said I'm gonna repeat it for the last time. I only asked the question to speed up the process because I don't know anything about Bleach. If he hasn't seen it, that's whatever. But you just made the claim that he has never seen these stars. So therefore, I want you to prove it. Does
Again,
it stop circling back to what I said, which was a question, not necessarily an argument or a point.
listen, this whole society is already like a separate dimension. Can we both agree on that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and from there, there's never been shown to be
All
outer
right, that's just
space.
an argument for ignorance. Just because it's never been shown doesn't mean it can't be the case.
It's never listen, and basically from what we know, the Soul Society is the Cerate, like basically inside the Cerate, etc. And it's only ever this planet. And basically from the planet, we don't really, and like this basically goes back to the first argument we had: does the Soul Society have an outer space, and if so, is this a portal to outer space? From the
I never, what? Whoa,
oh,
whoa,
that was
whoa, hold on.
what
That
that,
never happened. I never said the Soul Society has outer space. I said basically Gremmy built a car in the Soul Society. I never said the Soul Society is outer space. And again, I'm going to keep asking you, what evidence is there to prove that it's a portal to outer space and not that it's actually outer space? And you've never answered that question. So it's not the first point because you never addressed that first point. Come on. Let's just
again.
move on if we're going to keep going circular like this.
Excuse me. Okay, sorry. Basically, from what like it was basically a question to speed up the process, like your plan, like Remy planet question. But basically, the thing is that the Soul Society, like the Soul Society doesn't have a space or anything of that sort. Since we only ever see since it's only ever stated to be a separate dimension, and the Cerate inside that dimension. From there, it's only of this planet, which is kind of similar to size to Fukumondo.
Wait, so you're saying he can't know how big outer space is because the Soul Society is small? Is that what you're saying?
No, basically, I'm telling you that you doesn't have any actual thing to base off. For example, okay, let me give you a scenario. So basically,
Well,
you
he
know,
clearly, hold on. Before you give the scenario, you just made a claim. And again, that's clearly opposed by the fact that he knows stuff about how space works. So either, like I said, like I asked earlier, that at one point he was on Earth, right? I'm not making an argument. I'm just asking you, like, i- if you're trying to say, well, he's never seen it, but he knows about space, how would he know if he's never seen it? Like, come on.
again,
It's
again,
just it's pretty solid evidence. So please, can we move on? If this is what you're gonna keep repeating.
there's a good chance that you could have just probably seen in the book. And as we know, there are people that lived on Earth and they came here. So
Okay,
meaning
so
that they could have just told Granley about Earth, but you wouldn't actually have any real relation. For example, okay, now can I
all right,
know?
so let me ask you. So those books could have been written by people who've actually seen outer space and know how big it is. So if you're saying he read a book about it, then that's just literally a concession that he knows about space.
Again, first of all, he doesn't have any actual relation towards said space, and he doesn't
All
actually
right,
he never
go ahead and prove that.
he's never seen actual celestial bodies. Again, you like
That's just that's
wait.
just an
So
argument from ignorance. He's never seen it, so it can't be the case. Stop making arguments from ignorance. If you're gonna keep doing this, I suggest we move on.
this okay. Listen, for your Kobe Bryant scenario, right? Is it okay if I make my scenario based off that? I'm just asking.
And man, I'm gonna ask you a question. Are you gonna repeat yourself?
No, not necessarily. But okay, listen. So I'm gonna move on to my scenario. Basically, since there could be people that told him about Kobe Bryant and that he was tall, etc. But he wouldn't actually know how tall Kobe Bryant was. And from what we know, Gremley was cooped up in this like prison thing for most of his
For
life.
all we know.
Yeah,
Okay, again,
from what we
you
know,
you literally just repeat yourself. For all we know, you keep saying that phrase over and over again, and I keep pointing out that's an argument from ignorance. Oh well, we don't know if he's seen it, so therefore it can't be the case. Argument from ignorance. Well, he's never seen it. He has no relation, so it can't be the case. Argument for ignorance. If you're gonna keep doing this, I suggest we just move on. I've already laid out my case. You clearly can't lay out your case if you're gonna keep making arguments for ignorance.
Yeah, I would say move on to a different point.
okay, can I quickly finish up then?
Finish up. You're gonna repeat yourself for like the 10th time, but go ahead, bro.
Okay, okay. So basically, Grummy in this scenario, I'm pretty sure he lived cooped up in like this prison thing for most of his life, and and basically from there he never had any interaction. No one telling him how big space was, etc. He only had he only had interaction with that one person, which with
Okay, Tanman, I
that one.
gotta to stop you real quick. You contradicted yourself. Your earlier point is he can know about space from a book, and now you're saying he didn't have any social interaction whatsoever. But if he already knows about space, it has to be either he read it in a book and books have information about space, or two, he at one point lived on Earth and saw space. So Tanman, again, if you're gonna keep repeating yourself or you're gonna keep contradicting yourself, let's just move on.
Okay, please let me finish. But basically, from the only interaction he ever had was this one other Cerate. But besides from that Cerate, she could have that Cerate could have just told Gremley about space, but he wouldn't actually have any real relation since it'd only be auditory. And second of all, he wouldn't actually have any real. Okay, so basically, I already proved that he doesn't have any real relation towards space or never actually seen space. Correct?
Yeah, your proof was arguments from ignorance, but whatever. Keep going.
unnecessarily ignorant sincerity prove that he never saw space interaction with it, etc. Too much proof about it. But basically, from what we know, you can't really scale these said planets, stars, etc. to the real world, the real world counterpart for it.
I already gave you arguments as to why that could be the case. It's like
And I,
Kubo's obviously trying to portray that his imagination can create things by like
yeah,
creating this planets, stars, whatever.
yeah,
And I already
I,
gave you arguments as to why he could have seen it, and you already gave me an argument by saying he saw it in a book or whatever.
and I
So it's
already
like
until
again, Tanman, all you've done is repeat yourself.
okay,
Please,
so
let's move on.
okay, but the thing I'm trying to say is that he doesn't have any relation to the real world counterpart. He doesn't know how big this planet's stars are, etc. And there's no
Tanman, that's enough. You literally repeated yourself.
Yeah,
You
you've
you
repeated
literally repeated
yourself
that
multiple
exact same
times.
talking point 3 times. Move on.
okay, sorry, yeah,
Jeez. Okay. What's the next thing? Want me to cover speed?
sure.
Okay. Ichigo's MFTL and Ichigo scales to Kenpachi. Kenpachi scales to Gremmy in speed.
You have a skill cap for that? Okay, can you send it?
You want a calc? You said. Oh,
Yeah,
which
for
part? Do you want me to prove Ichigo's MFTL or do you want me to prove Kenpachi scales to Ichigo?
both, please. First, can you
Yeah,
prove that Ichigo?
I'll prove the Ichigo one first because that's the one I have on hand. Okay. And obviously, you know, like how Bankais work, they like increase your capacity as a combatant by 5 to 10 times. You already know that part, right? Tanman?
What? Oh, sorry.
You already know like how Bankais work, right? They increase your stats or like combatant compatibility by five
Yeah,
to ten times, right?
I know certain Bankai is gonna increase your or multiply your power, but can you basically send the Ichigo MFTL calc?
I will, I will. I just sent the Kenpachi relative to Ichigo one. Let me get the calc now.
Okay, when you're getting the calc, I'm just gonna confront this basic scan. It basically says you have allies who rival you. Basically, this could also refer to latent potential, etc. Bankai and no Bankai. There's
Rival?
multiple.
Who that statement is in present tense. It's not like who will rival you, which is future tense, which would be the latent potential thing. So that's already debunked. What else?
Pardon? Wait, so
Bro, the statement he made is in present tense. You trying to say it's referring to potential. Potential means like the ability to grow over time, which is future. Even though he does like so you trying to say this is future tense when it's present tense is just incorrect.
wait, so
Like
sorry, but like
that's like saying Naruto will become universal, but the statement that you're referring to says Naruto is universal. It's present tense. It's telling us that these people rival Kenpachi right now because it's present tense. So you trying to say it's later on is incredibly rat and it doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
yeah, but from there we don't know if these characters if the characters shown above are okay. Basically, we don't know the characters above are in which modes, Bankai, etc. I'm pretty sure that Ichigo is Star Society. So if you have an MFT,
It doesn't really matter. It just says that Ichigo max power is relative to Kenpachi, or it just says base Ichigo is relative to Kenpachi. That doesn't really matter because like all I need to do is find this cow.
okay, then please get the calc and we'll talk about this once you get the calc.
Okay. All right. So Ichigo, who's weaker than he is in the Thousand-Year Blood War, is blitzing people who can dodge light. Let me get the scan. First scan, second scan, third scan, fourth scan, and then fifth scan, and then here's the sixth one. Now let me post this. Okay. Fuck, why isn't it? All right, there it is. All right, I'm sending the first four. The second two.
Wait, did you send the first four?
Yes, I just sent it.
Oh, okay.
All right, it's sent. So if you look at the
Actually,
first
let me
one, bruh,
pull up. Okay,
why
yeah, I
did it
see.
post? Okay. I thought it posted twice. All right. So in the first one, we see Ichigo appear. They all get surprised. They all get in battle ready stance. They start screaming their ability names, and then Ichigo speed blitzes and punches one of them before he can even react, pull up his sword to block or whatever. Then the next panel after that, someone says, "I don't recognize whose is that." It's like the spiritual pressure that could only belong to a captain. He's like, "I don't recognize it." And then we see lieutenants, and then in the second theme, lieutenants are dodging light. That theme, that box that's surrounding them, that's like light speed. And then someone just dodges it.
Okay, wait. Okay. So which scans are you trying to say are hitting him?
Bruh.
Okay, wait. So
Okay, so the first one is Ichigo before the Thousand Year Blood War is blitzing people who can dodge light. So he's a blitz level above light, right? And then let's say he's like 2 times, like just to say like a low ball for blitz. And then he has his Bankai, which makes him 10 times faster. So that'd be bare minimum 20 times. And
okay,
that's like ignoring the fact that he gets stronger between now and the blood war.
okay. So first of all, the lieutenant reacting to light thing is first of all, I'm pretty sure the light is already coming down. I see with the bump sound there, and basically from there, and actually in the right part of the third scan, I think you could see him. Only then he was able to react to it, and then from there it hit the
What?
captain. Which one?
Tanman, nice concession, brother. Okay, so basically, what you just said, you said that it was already moving and then he moves. If someone points a gun at me and then tries to shoot me and I dodge it while the bullet is in midair, that means I'm faster than the bullet. Nice
First,
concession.
okay, first of all, no, that was not what I was saying. We already see the light beam shot, and only then after we already see them shot, we actually see him react to that, and then from there move, which should
Bro,
be the
they react to something that's light speed and it's already in motion. Tanman, you have, bruh.
the only the only
I don't feel the need. I don't feel like I need to explain this to you. It's not that hard.
the only react to said
You,
light speed feet midway from it, as we see the lights already
oh
coming
my
down.
god, Tanman, the beams are traveling at the speed of light. If they react to it when it's the middle of traveling, then that means they're faster than light.
Listen, okay, listen. If I shoot a gun at
Right.
said person and I already see the bullet traveling there, from like basically, let's just say the bullet traveled halfway there, you still not you're not reacting to the said bullet at full speed. You're just reacting to basically reacting to the after effect. Okay, how do I explain? So basically,
Bro,
the light is already coming down, and even then it takes him some time to register it and then move. As we could see, he only registers it because of the flick motion in the third scan. So he's not actually reacting to light.
Tanman. Let's move on. You literally just conceded to what I was saying.
I'm not. This is not a concession. I'm explaining. We already see the light going down. We see him. We see him. We see him halfway, then react to said light, and then only then move.
Bruh,
Yeah,
you just said he reacts to the light. Oh my god.
we only see him halfway, like after a small amount of time, react to said light.
Tanman, let me ask you a question. Remember when the Raikage was gonna punch Naruto in the face? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Then the Raikage was super close to punching Naruto in the face. And then when Naruto dodges, what you're trying to basically, I'm not saying that like Naruto's Bleach. I'm just giving you an example. Basically, what you just said is that Naruto was slower than the Raikage because he only reacted to when the punch was about to hit him. If he has the speed to move out the way when he's already in motion, that means he's faster than the thing he dodged. Let's move on.
The thing in Naruto is that the actual reaction thing is never shown. Like basically, there's no reaction. There's no like he never like basically for Naruto, he already knows Hokage is coming at him, and he's already perceiving the Hokage at that point.
Oh my god.
In this
Oh my
case,
god.
let me finish. In this case, the lieutenant only reacts after the beams were shot. The beams have already been shot some quantifiable distance. He only scales to the quantifiable distance as soon as as soon as it hits the captain.
Bruh,
There's
bruh,
okay.
bruh. You know what? I already explained it. You already explained it. Let's
And
move
listen,
on to the next point. So, do you understand like so do you understand that part that like Ichigo before the 1,000-year blood war is at least 20 times FTL. And Kenpachi scales to that, and Gremmy scales to Kenpachi.
20 times FTO. I mean, like, you could argue the lieutenant feat is relativistic since it does meet the requirements. Like, he sees the
I already
light.
gave you. I already
Still,
gave you the reasoning as to why it's light speed, so I don't want to hear the argument. If you already debunked the argument, technically, in your words, if you quote unquote debunked it,
okay,
so I don't
so
really need to hear the rest.
okay, excuse me. So from there, we see like he actually reacts to the light halfway down. I'm not gonna try to repeat myself over and over again. But the lieutenant isn't reacting to the light itself. He only reacts after a quantifiable distance, giving him some more time to react. So it isn't really a true feat. You could argue. You could
Yeah, man.
argue.
If you're saying he only noticed it after it already went flying, and then he notices it, and then he dodges it, he has less time to dodge. Because you know how the speed formula works. You know how that works, right? Like
Listen, from
speed is distance over time, right? And if okay, so if like the thing is like 10 meters away from him, but he only notices it 5 meters away from it, he has half the time to dodge, but he still dodges it, meaning that he's still faster than whatever's trying to hit him from the 10 meter distance. I'm
the
just
thing
giving
is,
you an
like,
example. It's not the actual measurements.
yeah, okay, basically, let's just say like if you shoot a laser at someone, they're not reacting to the laser itself. They're only act like and like let's just say they dodge it halfway through, and we literally see the note like the thing like the notice like the sign showing that you just got aware of it, right? And the third scan.
Bro,
One
10
second.
minutes. So you're so
Okay,
special, man. Let's move
what?
on. Let's move on. We already argued this.
Please tell me, do you see the scan in the do you see in the third scan the notice mark on the right side of
10
the
man. Let's move on.
no, please answer my question. Do you see
I
the
see. I see the notice mark. I see the notice mark. What happened is the light is coming down. He jumps back, and after the light is already heading his way, that should just mean he reacts to the light. Damn man, I beg of you, let's please move on. If you're gonna keep repeating yourself like you did last point,
again the order in the
not
events is that the light is going
bro.
down, he reacts to it, and then he moves. But only like the light
Bro,
after it goes halfway. But if you
you just admitted he reacts to the light. Tan man, move on. You're not doing much to help the robot accusations, bro. You're literally schizoing out right now, repeating yourself like a broken record. Please, let's
this
move on.
thing is, you're not really you're not really gonna go debunking what I'm saying. Like
I
the light
already
is already
debunked it. I already debunked it. I gave you an example. If someone shoots a bullet and I react to the bullet after it's already launched, then that means I'm reacting to the speed of the bullet. The speed of the bullet is the speed of sound. Now just replace the bullet for the light and replace me for the person who dodges the light. That's all I said. Tanman, move on.
except the point for that I was like discussing is that from point A to point B, he doesn't react from point A to point B. He reacts from like the middle of it, and then from there he dodges it, which technically by most things are
Tanman, do you think he won this point?
please let me finish. Basically, from there we only see him. He reacts to it halfway. He's not actually reacting to the FTL beam, only until a certain quantifiable distance. So you can't really prove that he's reacting to it out of the source threat.
Tanman, do you believe you won this point?
Pardon?
Do you believe you won this point?
I believe I have discussed this point. If you want to move on, feel free.
Yeah, let's move on because I already gave my refutation to your whatever that was. All right.
Okay, so we got the lieutenants. Okay, so we already have the lieutenants.
Man, let's move on. Let's move on.
Okay,
No longer talking about the lieutenants. We moved on.
okay. So the next part of your speed skill is said what?
Okay. So after this, let me go get these. I'm about to screenshot everything of this. I'm not about to argue with this, bro. Oh, she sent me a snap. That's okay. Okay. Here it is. Okay. And then let me get the next part here. Okay. Now let me post this here. All right, Tanman, this is posting right now. Okay, and then it just got posted. If you look at it, Victor's explaining. Ignore the percentage of the speed of light. The reason why those are there is because Victor was just like giving different interpretations for their speed. I already proved, or at least we already discussed why like Ichigo before this is
Actually,
already faster than light. So you could ignore the speed of light symbols. Just use like the numbers, which is like the Bankai, which is 5 to 10 times, and then all that
again,
stuff.
listen, okay, this wouldn't really work since we already discussed the lieutenant panel, and if we're going off the lieutenant panel, used in the scale, then you like
What? Okay, Tanman. What I use to prove here is that Ichigo, right after he gets done training, is faster than light, and then with his Bankai, he would be 20 times, or he'd be 10 to 20 times faster than light. And I'm saying after this, Ichigo becomes even stronger and faster. Ichigo becomes even stronger and faster, and here are the numbers for it. He gets his Bankai, which is 5 times amp. He fights Ilkiora, which is like another 5 by 5 by 5 amp. So all I'm
this.
saying is that they should be like comfortably MFTL.
Listen, okay. Again, from basically what Wilson's since this entire thing revolves around the lieutenant like FTL panel said that basically Ichigo, you're saying that Ichigo scales up the lieutenants which scale to the like FT like the lieutenant
Yeah.
feat, right? And
Okay,
we already
so Taman, let me get this straight. So basically, you're saying you don't want to address this because it hinges on a point we already argued, right? So you just want to move on, and like
listen,
whoever wins this point wins the speed skill.
listen. Okay, so if you wanna like I mean technically okay, so for the lieutenant feat, basically you have it at FTL, I have it at relativistic. We already discussed it, that's fine. But
Yeah.
then following this scale, you can't really use it since from what we see, it isn't putting Ichigo set at FTL like relativistic or anything like
Bro,
that.
oh my God, Tanman, I'm sorry, but you actually, I'm not going to say that. I don't feel like being mean today. Tanman, let me explain this to you in the simplest terms, right? We just discussed whether Ichigo is faster than light, right? And the reason why I brought these scans up is because Ichigo then gets Bankai. Bankai amplifies his speed, and I don't care about the actual numbers that are shown in what I posted. What I care about are the multipliers, right? I don't care, like for example, I don't care about Goku's power level. I'm talking about how big of a multiplier Super Saiyan is. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I don't care about anything else. I'm just talking about the multipliers. And the multipliers get him to be MFTL and Kapashi skills to that, and so does Gremmy. Do you understand, Tanman? Do you understand?
Okay, listen. So basically, the multipliers is fine. I don't have anything bad with the multipliers, but the multipliers is still only multiplying the said number of the original sum. Basically,
All
zero
right, so
times.
that's cool. That's cool. That's all I needed to hear. Basically, if I won that point, then that means my speed scale of MFTL goes through. If you won that point, then that means you won my speed scale. That means I lost my speed scale, right?
Listen,
That's
okay,
whatever. If you're fine with the multipliers, then that means we can just move on.
listen. For the multipliers, this entire scale is scaling off the said lieutenant feat, which we already discussed. And
Oh
actually, do
my
you have it?
God, I'm so sick of you. I'm so sick of you. I already addressed that. I said if you're fine with the multipliers, and all I'm talking about is the multipliers, I don't care about anything else, right? The VC can judge who won that point, and then therefore they can go off from there because you already said you're fine with the multipliers. Tanman, let us move on, and don't say listen and then proceed to talk. For someone who says listen a lot, you seem to do little of that yourself. So again, let me explain this to you so you actually get this time. If you if you're saying you're fine with the multipliers, that is fine. My speed scale is that Ichigo is MFTL, right? Because of these multipliers, and Kenpachi and Gremmy both scale to that. That's all I care about. If you're fine with that, then that's cool.
We'll
Let's
see.
move on.
Okay, fine. Also, see.
We're running out of time on the bot. Got about 15 minutes left. So guys, try to get maybe another point down and then move to conclusion.
Okay, also,
Okay,
CJ, do you have?
let's move on, Tam, man. Please stop wasting time, bro. You already said you agree with the multipliers. So all that matters is whether the VC thinks you or I won that previous point. Let's move on to what Daemon can do.
CJ, do you have actually like an actual calc or like pixel calc for the
The
lieutenant?
actual calc, okay, it's in the scan itself. You already agreed to the multipliers. Ichigo gets Bankai, which is bare minimum 5 times, and then he becomes stronger than second least Ukiura, which is another 5 by 5 times. 5 times 5 times 5 is 125. 125 times 20 is over 1,000, which is MFTL. Let's move on.
And CJ, do you have like again? Do you have like an actual pixel calc for said feat? Because I
Pixel calc?
Like or not not necessarily pick select, but basically for the lieutenant feed, you have an actual like full on like calc
Tanman,
that
we moved on from the lieutenant feat. Why are you backtracking? Let's move on, Tanman.
fine. If okay, it's mainly because your speed feed will like sort of relies
Yeah,
on the
I don't care. Let's move on.
okay, it's basically because the feed relies on the lieutenant feed, which is why it's such a big
Oh my
topic.
god, why are you repeating yourself? I said I don't care. Let's move on to what Daemon can do. We have 15 minutes left and you keep repeating yourself like a broken record. Move on to your scaling.
So what do you want me to do? Okay, fine. I'll start. So do you want to start with speed or strength?
Speed? Okay. I don't think strength really matters, right? Because Daemon has the ability to reflect things, right? So what you need to argue is whether he can reflect galaxy levels, of course. Assuming I won my power skill, that's besides the point. But let's just assume that I did. How much can Daemon reflect?
Okay, first of all, I'm just gonna scale both as A, B, and speed if that's okay. But let's just start with speed since you seem more okay with it. Let me quickly pull up the scan.
TikTok, the clock is running, bro.
Does anyone have the Rikage MFDL feed? Actually, never mind, I found it. Oh wait, did I? Actually, yeah. Does anyone have the MFDL feed for Rikage?
Be more specific.
KC1 reacts to Rikage feed.
Oh, okay.
Actually, I think I found it. Also, before you address any of the scans, let me just finish posting all of them so they could work in context.
It's in chat.
I already know this scene like the back of my hand, bro. It's one of my favorites. Oh dear Lord, he's using the 2015 72 times FTL argument. Lord have mercy.
You're not gonna beat it. Don't matter.
Where does the thing keep going? Wait, Victor, it's okay if you send like all the scans for the. Actually, no, I should ask this for Victor for the. Sorry if this takes some time. I'm just taking them individually, screenshotting them, and sending them.
CJ, how do you know this was from 2015?
I was around back then. I was watching Seth videos since I was like 5.
I meant the cap though.
The Calc? Like I
Yeah.
said, I've been watching him since I was 5, and that's like around the time the Calc came up. But it's whatever. Let's continue.
Damn, we are old.
Old head.
Why does that matter, bro?
Okay. Oh sweet Lord. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness
Sorry,
gracious. All right, Tanman. I got a question for you. How do they know? Okay, wait. Okay. Well, so Tanman, let me ask you a question.
Actually, wait. Listen, before you do, let me finish sending all the scans so it works in context. I already said
I'm
this.
so sick of this guy. Uh, 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 uh. Are these all the scans?
There's 2 more.
You have a tumor? I hope you get that checked out, man.
Oh, there's 2 more. Sorry if you misheard, but
That was cringe.
okay. Okay, and last one. Final speed. Let's see. Did you guys get the? Okay, the last one is loading right about now.
Oh Lord, have mercy.
Wait,
Final
did you
speed.
get it?
And good luck both for you. That's what all I gotta say.
Hey, Tanman,
Okay.
want to know something? the panel of Raikage versus Sasuke and the panel of Raikage versus Killer B, those are two different panels. How can you prove that they're both accurately drawn to size? Because that's entirely what your that's entirely what your scale relies upon. So how are they the exact same scale? Please tell me.
The main scans that I'm using for the skill is the first scan, second scan, and then the calcs from the fourth and fifth for it. So not necessarily the Sasuke and Killer. Actually, the Killer B one also works, but actually, yeah.
Okay. Well, the problem is, wait. So what did you just say? You just said?
So I'm mainly using the first scan and second scan, and then basically the fourth and fifth scan.
First scan and second scan, and then why did you post the? Oh my god!
I was just posting all the scans that were in the main argument.
That's fourth and fifth.
First scan, the second scan of that, and then from there just posted there. And yeah.
Okay, again, Tanman, again, this is inconsistent. In the Sasuke one, it's the whatever it's called, the red line is bent, meaning you can't compare it. Bro, oh my god. The red line is bent, meaning it isn't a straight. It isn't straight. So how can you compare it to a Raikage who's standing up straight if he's like crooked?
It's okay. First of all, I don't need the Sasuke scan for this. Second of all,
then why did you?
Okay, sorry. I was just posting all the scans. Okay, listen. So for that scan, we could see the Raikage, and he's actually standing straight. So you can't use the line bent argument. And from here, you could just use the calcs. You could see the mathematics below, and that gets him to MFDL at the very least.
All right, why is this person accurate? The person who made these, because it's obviously not you. I remember seeing these a while ago.
Again, we could see the actual pixel calcs for.
Okay, but why are they accurate? Why are they accurate?
Okay, guys, we're running out of time on the bot. Move on to conclusions. That way we don't lose this recording.
Okay, I'll conclude first since I actually got through my scaling. The entire time, Tanman. Let me conclude. The entire time, Tanman just kept repeating himself and delaying the debate to the point where he couldn't actually scale his character. And if he can't scale his character, then that means he automatically lost the debate because I don't believe he broke any of my scaling, which would mean that Remy either one beats up Daemon because he doesn't scale anything about Daemon, or he just traps it in a bubble of space like he did to Kenpachi, which would just be a BFR, which is a battlefield removal, and then Gremmy wins either way.
It's okay if I start?
You don't have to do conclusions. We already chose.
Okay, so basically for this, I already went over the speed feat and proved that technically it was relativistic at best, since the entire argument there and CJ didn't really have any real counter to it because we already saw light shoot, reaction, etc., proven that that is an actual thing. For the speed and for the actual AP/Galaxy fee, we already covered that enough that I think it should be debunked or like quote unquote debunked, but basically he doesn't. So from what we have, I mainly covered the MFDL calc, which CJ didn't really have a problem with because we're not using the Sasuke calc. But from there, the calc should still stand, and yeah. So basically, Gremly, most of his skills were already debunked, and for Damien, we already have his MFDL calcs.
All right, and that's the conclusion.
All right. Well, VC already took a judgment and pretty much unanimously concluded that CJ.
Tanman, I'm never debating you again.